Coming up in this special edition of In My Own Words, we're going to talk about college and money with freshman Luke Williams and graduate student Tesia Baker. And we're going to hear great conversations about values and money when you're in your college years. Right after this. Welcome to a special edition of In My Own Words. This is a focus on college and money. My name is Martin Booker, and I'm here with Luke Williams and Tesia Baker. All right, Tesia, tell me a little bit about yourself. Who is Tesia Baker?
Yes, so I am from Hiram, Georgia, and I am the youngest of three, and I am technically the last to get my bachelor's degree among my two sisters, but the first that will begin my master's degree next May of 2024, which I'm so excited about. And I'm currently a graduate student at Georgia State University, where I'm getting my master's in public health, concentration health policy and management. So that's a little bit about me. Atlanta's been my hometown, love sports, hang out with friends and family, so yeah.
Okay. Nice. And you intern at AARP.
Yes, I do.
How'd you get to AARP?
So in my throughout my program, it's very important for any young professional to get experience in their fields, and that's one thing that I really want to do, because prior to becoming AARP, I was a graduate research assistant at Georgia State University, and so I was doing that, and that was really great and stuff, but I felt like I wasn't really growing, and for me, I've always been that type of leader and that individual. If I feel like my growth is not really going anywhere, and I feel like I'm being stopped or stagnant, I like to go and get more go somewhere else where I can really continue to develop myself and bring my talents and my passions to another organization. So I knew for me, I'll be graduating my master's in another year or two. I need to get more experience. I need to get more experience. So last December of 2022, I was applying for jobs and internships, and it was a rough, I'm not gonna lie, getting those decline letters or not even hearing back from companies. I was just this is crazy, you know? So finally, after kind of going back and redoing my resume, working with our career services department at the School of Public Health, took a break from applying, and then AARP just came up on LinkedIn. I was like, okay, this has to be it, you know what I mean? And when I saw advocacy intern, I was like, I love advocacy. I love to advocate for others, fight for change. I've never been that person to be why do we not do it this way or that way? I always been that person to say, well, if I want to see something change, let that be me who makes that change, or make that policy improvement that can affect others and affect communities. So applied for it, few months, maybe a few weeks later, got a call from National saying, hey, we love the interview. Went through the Nationals interview level, then came to the state level, and then now I'm here, and I've had the great opportunity since June to be an advocacy intern for AARP, and it's been really great, and I've been able to learn so much since being at AARP, from advocacy, from policy, from just teamwork, collaboration skills, just so much. So my internship at AARP has been so great, and the opportunities that have been came to me has been just a blessing, and I'm just I know this is from God. So yeah. Nice.
Have you taken advantage of your AARP membership yet?
Well, no. They told me I don't have one as an intern, so I need to get one actually.
Okay. All right.
I need to get one.
We got to figure that out. Make sure you get an opportunity to take advantage of the same discounts as the rest of us.
Yes.
All right. And Luke, tell us a little bit about you.
All right. Well, my major is public relations, and I'm hopefully pursuing my master's in either public administration or business administration, probably still at the University of Georgia through a program that they offer there. I was born in Kennesaw, but raised in Marietta, also a little bit Atlanta. I love the city. I'm a child of three. I'm the youngest child of three, so I'm the last to go to college, last to graduate. Yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Nice, last to graduate. So you already know your freshman year, you're graduating, right?
Definitely.
That's awesome. I remember a quick story. My freshman year at Bowie State University, I actually bought my alumni hoodie. And that was my motivation to make sure that I finished college. I was going to be the first in my family to finish college. And so I bought my hoodie freshman year. And that's held on to it and wore it the day after I graduated.
Talk about motivation.
Nice, yep. All right, so let's talk a little bit about college and money. Both of y'all, Tesia, you've gone through undergrad. Luke, you're starting undergrad, kind of getting that experience. Tesia, tell me about one of the first times that you remember having to make financial decisions in college, right before college. Just what was that like for you?
It was definitely before college. There was so many experiences, but the one I can clearly remember was like when I saw that payment that you still owe this much money. I was like, oh my gosh, how's it going to be paid for? And at that time, it was just student loans. So unfortunately, I had to take out a student loan. And it definitely was like a moment of like, okay, I'm glad I didn't go to a school that was like so expensive for a semester, because I really think I was able to contain what I have by going to a more affordable university. And I've always told myself this, it's like yes, the school matters, but I also feel like you as a student matters just as much, if not more. So it's like, I was like, no matter what school I go to, I'm gonna be myself, I'm gonna go develop, grow, and then like the opportunities I've got at my school, I don't know if I would have got that in like a bigger institution. So, but I remember that day when you had to get that student loan, you have to approve it, and you're like, I don't want to. I want to say no, but you had to, because at that time, like, we didn't have like, the whole paying 100% tuition. We didn't have that at the time. It was more of just this percentage, and the Zell Miller was like a little bit different. So, took out that student loan, and
Okay. Yep. So student loans had to pay. And you mentioned Hope and Zell Miller. Luke, can you tell us a little bit about that? Is that something that you were able to take advantage of?
Definitely. Over the years, it's been that the Zell Miller Scholarship takes care of all in-state tuition, and Hope only carries 80%, I believe, or just a smaller percentage. And I was fortunate enough to receive Zell Miller, which is part of the driving forces of going to an in-state school for me, because Zell Miller has just been extremely helpful and has just guided me through, okay, I got in, okay, I now have the money to go to school, but also let me keep this. Let me continue to strive to get better in my grades so that I don't lose this wonderful opportunity that Zell Miller has given to me.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so as a Georgia resident, you get some opportunities, some scholarships if you stay in state.
Definitely.
There's some opportunities to help pay for school. That's great. All right, that's good to know. What would you say, Luke, when you think about some of the things that college is teaching you about the value of money or managing money? What are some of the things that you're starting to experience and learn?
Managing money-wise, if I could go back to the first day and tell myself something, it would probably be beware of the fast money purchases. Because my student center at UGA has Starbucks and Panda Express and Chick-fil-A, and the bookstore has all kinds of snacks and food. So it's like when you're swiping the card, or when you're swiping the dog card or the one card, and you're like, okay, $8 purchase, okay, $10 purchase, this is okay. I still have $100, $200 in my account. Okay, but then when the swipes start getting faster and faster, and you start doing them more and more, and then all of a sudden you look up and you're like, wait, those $10 purchases added up, and now I got $3 in my account. So it's just taking advantage of okay, you have a dining hall, you have a meal plan, use that. Also, it's okay to, treat yourself every once in a while to things that you'd like or new things, but do not, overextend your luxury, and just continue to still purchase for the things that you need, like books, which is insanely expensive. But just being aware of the subscriptions or the food or the anything, just quick money.
So college kind of taught you a little bit about prioritizing, it sounds like, right?
Definitely.
You had to kind of realize, all right, buy the important stuff first and kind of budget out for all the fun and all the quick purchases. Now, Tesia, what about for you in school? So undergrad, grad school, were there any money mistakes or things that you would have done a little differently when you think back to how you manage money in college?
So I would think the first mistake was buying the textbooks before classes. Do not do that. Wait until see what your professor says, because oftentimes they may say you may not necessarily need a textbook and it may just be extra, or B, you may be able to find people who took the class before you and see do they still have the book, so you can find an ebook version online for free, because that's been a saving grace in graduate school. I think I was able to find more free textbooks on the master's level than undergrad. And I think if you do need to buy textbooks, try to do Shake, Amazon. No offense to all schools, bookstores, but they can be overpriced. And I just think financially, one book can turn from like $50 to $300, and it's just like, this is crazy. So definitely take advantage of Shag, take advantage of like people that took the class before you, and see like, hey, do you have this textbook? Could I possibly like lend it from you, and kind of help each other out? This is kind of save some of those extra expenses, not only on yourself, but also for your parents, because usually the parents have to, give the extra money to get the textbooks. I would say another mistake was when it comes to student loans. So not every like financial aid department, like sometimes the processes can be a little bit difficult. Like they usually understaffed and it become a lot sometimes. So I remember like my sophomore year when I was taking out student loans, like something happened. I forgot what happened. But I ended up having to take out more than what I needed to, which I regret, because it's like, and I have more to pay back, and it's just like, dang, I wish I never took, out. Like, it's not like a lot, but still, it's like, it's extra money you have to pay back. So I would say that was another mistake I wish I would have maybe like consulted my peers with more if I just took out extra loans I really need, But I guess any college student would say you can always do the extra money though. So I mean, I guess at that time you need it, but when after you graduate, you're like, dang, like I have this extra money to pay back. I think another mistake was going into my senior year. I couldn't say it was a mistake, but more of like a thing I tell student leaders to often like really think about. So my summer of Trinity 1, I did AmeriCorps Vistas. So I did like at a local nonprofit, Marietta, shout out CLs. So I did it there. And I did really well, like they really loved me. And with AmeriCorps, I don't know if many students know this, but they have what's like the awards that they give. So after you complete your service with AmeriCorps, you get like money to go towards either your student loans payment or like to go towards like your tuition. So I got the summer portion, and they asked me to come out and do like the year long service, because if you do like the year extended, you get like a good amount. I think it's like a little bit over maybe $5,000, $6,000. It was a good amount, and if I would have. And at that time, though, I was HA president of my institution, and I took on that commitment. I was just like, I would hate to say yes to them when I know I took on this commitment from my university, and I didn't want to, like, be that student, be like, oh, I'm out, when I know, like, they really still needed us to be there, like, kind of just be that student leader for not only for student government, but also for, like, our university. So I said no. If I would have said yes, I would have, like, that amount of money would have paid off all my student loans. And I would have paid anything out of pocket. I probably got like some back. But I said no because I had like a commitment. And one thing I tell students is that, especially if you're a student leader, I'm not saying don't, fulfill your commitments, but also think of the bigger picture. Because once you graduate, they will still be there. Like student government's still gonna be there. But some opportunities you may miss out on that could financially push you in a spot that is like really good. So I kind of wish, I'm not saying I wish, I didn't do student government my senior year, but I kind of wish I maybe would have thought more of the processes of like, okay, like what is the long-term impact if I say yes or if I say no? Because if I would have said yes, me paying back anything would have been nothing, because it would have paid off everything for me. Yeah. And I said no, and I was just like, well, now I have to, I have the summer portion, of course, and that definitely helps. But if I had all of it, that'd been very nice. So,
No, that's a lesson. That's a lesson. Like you said, looking kind of in the moment, trying to think about the long-term impact of anything, or in choosing a path and trying to decide, do I take this path or take this path, and really weighing the cost of both. I mean, that's a significant lesson, and I mean, it's a good life lesson, I'll say, because throughout your career, you're going to run into the same thing when it comes to investing money or trying to figure out what you want to do with your finances. Those opportunities are going to come up. So it's almost great that on one side you got to learn it, would have loved to have learned it a different way, right? But at least you got to experience it. So now it helps you to think, let me count all cost before I make any other decision. Luke, what would you say for you? What are some ways that your values have changed around money since going off to college, being more independent, and having to, think about these things from now versus before you enrolled in college? How do you see your values changing?
Well, my values before college in terms of money were kind of like, it was mainly in the process of just receiving it. Like just doing what you can, putting your best foot forward to gain it in the ways that you, like in the things that you need them for. Now in college, I still have that goal to still attain money and still receive scholarships, because Zell Miller doesn't pay for everything. So, but money has been kind of like a, I don't know, I just view it as more important, definitely more important in college, because now I'm an adult. I'm not under the parents' roof. They're not paying me for everything. And I know my dad said on another thing, like, you know, the whole Cash App thing about how they send it to kids here and there, here and there. I try to like get off of that and try to become more individualized in my spending and in my financial planning. So that's kind of how it's shifted as I've not only enrolled in college, but through my maturation process.
Like that. Okay. And Tesia and Luke, you can jump in here too. When you think about like making money in college, right, and the opportunities to fund yourself, become more independent, what do you see?
Ooh, I think I would say to any student that if you are really good at like doing hair or doing nails or photography or anything, making bracelets, whatever the case may be, cooking, whatever the case is, definitely like start something with it. I have like many classmates that was doing hair in college, that was cooking, that was doing nails, and some of them now have LLCs with it, and they're, you know, expanding their business. So I think if you are a student that have those type of talents, don't feel like, cause I'm in college and only have to focus on school and just the books, that you cannot develop your other, like your side hustles type of thing. Don't limit yourself. Like, I think it's all about finding that balance, you know, find that time to be in the books, of course, but also find that time to develop like your businesses or your careers or future LLCs, you know, because once you graduate, it's not always easy to go right into the workforce and like get a job like right on the spot once you cross that stage. So I think it's really good that if you know you have those inner talents, go and do it now while you're in college. Like, start developing it now. Like, don't wait, because if you wait, you may miss out on who knows how much money, you know what I mean? And you got classmates already got LLCs, and you're like, dang, I did photography too. Why did I not do something with that? So I think it's really important as a student. I didn't necessarily like have like all of that, you know, as much. Of course, I was a student worker. Like most students are student workers, and I did a school business. So that for me was like my main, like for me, like outside of school was that. And of course, I had my parents' support. But I would just say if you are a student and you have those talents, to definitely put them to use, and don't feel like you have to close it for the next 4 years. Like, out of anything, use your talents, and once you're learning in school, from like accounting to business to leadership, to help grow your, you know, your business that, you know, one day could become, you know, you may become next Bill Gates. You never know, you know. So just don't limit yourself, and don't put it in a box and feel like you can't take it out till you graduate. Don't do that. So
yeah, I would definitely emphasize that. In the building that I live in at UGA, Creswell, there would be times where you would look on an Instagram or Snapchat and you would see selling pancakes out of room 402, or there's a barber shop in room 304. Like, it's those little things that utilize your talents and utilize the resources that not only you have, but the school gives you. And in a way, and sorry, speaking of the school, there are so many jobs within school buildings. Like, for example, dining halls. Almost all of our dining halls are like employed by have student employees. And our bookstore has student employees. And it's just every store or every building on campus has many jobs that people don't understand can be occupied by students. And they can give you, because a lot of people go off campus for jobs, you know, and get jobs at, like, you know, the Chick-fil-A or another restaurant. But there is stuff on campus that you can apply for that can make you money as well, that can keep you well paid, basically.
Nice. So what I'm hearing is, like, I like the idea of, you know, you get an on-campus job that can kind of help with convenience too, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm on campus, I can, you know, maybe walk over to bookstore and work in the bookstore and then walk right back, as opposed to having to drive across town to work.
Right.
And this idea of entrepreneurship, like you said, some of the skills that you learn before college, you can take into college and put them to use. So if you're in, you know, high school programs and they're teaching you skills, taking advantage of that could follow you into college and provide you with an opportunity to make money as well. That's awesome. Okay, so there's money to make in school, it sounds like.
Yes.
While you know, start making it now. What would you do if you just in a dream world, you making money in school, you're making pretty good money? What would you do with it?
this is a lot. I think honestly, I would definitely give back to other students that definitely may not have that luxury. Because there's so many students that I know took out extra student loans just to pay for everyday like expenses and groceries and gas put in their car. And I think that sometimes, like we have this debate now going in the country about student loans forgiveness. I feel like sometimes that's the missing part that no one's talking about, that like our politicians are kind of missing. Like there's people not just taking out this stuff because they want to. Like who wants to take out a debt unless they really have to? So I think I would want to invest like in other students, invest in myself. Like there's so much I want to do. Like once I graduate, I want to definitely get into like community things, like home, like do things to help the homeless out, like do things to help like young kids out and the youth out. There's so many things that I want to do like that is related to public health that if I had like a chunk of money, absolutely I would give back to communities, give back to college students. Like, and I think I always wanted to do like a kind of like a school drive-in like supply type of thing, but college, like the college edition. Like I mean like in college, your dorm rooms, you had like your mini refrigerator, you had like printers, like you had TVs. Like I always wanted, so hopefully one day I could have opportunities to do something like a college drive for just college students, just for them only, and have the things that, those necessities that a lot of people forget about, but you need, especially if you go away from home and you go on campus or you go in a dorm room. Like, so I always wanted to do something like that. So I think I would do something like that, like give back to students, because I know, and I remember as an undergrad, it was always easy, and especially when the pandemic hit. Like I think finances it was even 10 times more crazy. But even before then, it was so difficult because college is not, it's not cheap, and I feel like out of anything, it's become more expensive. Like yes, schools are trying to, make sure tuition is not going too high. Like there have been some like they're stopping like tuition increases, but still, even outside of tuition increases, you go outside the walls of your university, inflation here, gas here, like food here, it's expensive. So I think I would definitely give back to the students that don't have that luxury of having those finances, or don't have the luxury of having parents that they can go to or siblings they can go to, just because I know it's not easy, and it can become sometimes mentally exhausting and draining, and it can become depressing for so many college students go through depression because of finances, because you're already dealing with the stress of your classes and trying to, get this degree and people pressuring you, and then you don't even know if you have the next meal. Even with your meal plan, sometimes if you went out of meals that week, you're out, and they'll let you come in because every time you stripe, there's money going into the dining hall. So, I think realizing, understanding that it would just all go towards me, but also for the greater good of like college students and for community. So, yeah.
Like that. How about you, Luke?
Well, like Tesia said, I would definitely invest in myself. I'd probably pursue a higher graduate degree. I definitely want to travel. That's definitely a goal of mine, to visit other countries, learn other cultures, and just that has been an ultimate goal for a while. Another thing with the community, not specifically my community, but the communities in that area, or even in Atlanta, there are a lot of, the main part of foundations and organizations that give back to the community are usually nonprofit, emphasize on the nonprofit. So sometimes they run out of that funding that they need to provide those, sometimes meals, sometimes food, and even in nonprofits benefiting schools, they run out of that funding to help the kids, to inspire them to keep reaching for that greater education, or keep trying to, hey, you're going to make it out of here, you're going to make it out of this area, please keep trying. The organizations like that, I want to offer donations or offer help or offer compensation, because a lot of the times, if they run out of their sponsors, they're running on fumes. So that would definitely be an ultimate goal of mine, to give back to organizations like that.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, I want to wrap up with just a quick question about your extended family. The entire time that you've been in school, you've gotten to experience school, what was it like leaning on cousins, aunts, the neighbors down the street? Like how much have your extended family and your community been a part of your college experience?
For me, they've been like everything for me. I can go back to when I studied abroad in undergrad and I went to Ireland. Like they were the main ones that funded me to go. Like I did create a GoFundMe, and it was like, when people that did donate, but the chunk of it was my family. And I would even say like extended family, like aunties and uncles, more like mom, dad, sisters, brother's-in-law. Like, that was pretty much it, you know? So they've been everything, and even in my graduate program, they've been so supportive. Luckily, financially, I've had a scholarship that's been able to, like, pay for everything, and also was able to do, like, graduation assistantship. So they paid tuition. My scholarship, American Public Health Association, paid. So luckily, in graduate school, I don't think they felt that burden like they did in undergrad, but in undergrad they were definitely like my walk and my foundation and my support system, especially when I would study abroad, because I really wanted to study abroad. I really wanted to do that, you know, like, and they supported that, and I will forever be grateful for them. And like one day, maybe take them all to Ireland so they can experience what I did, you know. So yeah.
How about you, Luke?
Well, my extended family haven't really helped in the way of like direct funding, but definitely in the way of emotional support and motivation, and kind of just, I mentioned before how my family has instilled values of education because I come from generations of educators. My mom is an educator, my dad's mom was an educator, my mom's mom was an educator. Everything about education and pursuing that degree has been instilled in me since I was a young child. So just offering that, hey, get through this, look at your sister, she's getting through this, look at me, I'm getting through this, I've gotten through this, I have this degree, and now look at how it's panned out for me. And then another way, when I was even sending off to college, they came to my house and they dropped off, okay, here's a mattress topper, here's an iron, here's an ironing board, here's pillows for your couch. Like there's just, sometimes it's the little things and sometimes it's just maybe just a sentence or just a phone call or FaceTime just to say, hey, I believe in you, so please believe in yourself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I experienced the exact same thing going through college. I had uncle help pay. My grandmother was at every honor society event. My mother made sure that she supported me the entire time. I lived with her, you know, free rent the entire time. My father would let me borrow his car to go to class. And then my other uncle would let me host my graduation party in his backyard because he had enough space, right? So it's like that village. They come together and they really do, you know, whether it's financial, like you said, whether it's just encouraging or support, they all come together to make sure that for some of us being the first or being the only, that we get these experiences and that we get to go through these experiences in a great way. So, you know, we're all grateful for that village. We're all thankful for the support. And this is, in my own words, a special edition that focuses on college and money. Thank you again, Luke. Thank you for Tesia for coming out and having this conversation with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.